Hi, I'm Patrick and this is the Mach-E vlog. There's been some big news this week because Enel X, a company that makes the Juicebox charger, has decided to exit the US and Canadian market. So there's been some questions about what customers are going to do. We're going to talk to a potential solution here with Linkwell in Schenectady, New York. So let's go. So a lot of you are wondering, just like what we are, like what's going to happen to all of those juice boxes that are out there? Are they going to be abandoned? It seems like there's no support at all going to be coming from Enel X, but we just happen to be in the Schenectady, New York area. We already were going to film some stuff with Linkwell, and we asked them, what are you guys doing? What is going to happen? They actually have some solutions. This is the type of thing that they do for other people migrating networks. So we're going to sit down with Linkwell and talk about the situation with Enel X and a little bit more. Okay, before we get started, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself because I don't do a good job of introducing people.
No problem. Schuyler Poukish with Linkwell, one of the co-founders. We've been working based in upstate New York since 2016 in the EV charging infrastructure space. Our primary focus is creating a platform for various stakeholders to basically bring everybody together, get what they need. And it includes hardware, software, and service with just a focus on getting everybody to work together and being a conduit and a catalyst in the industry.
Very cool. Now, we decided to sit down today, a little bit of last minute impromptu, and it's because like we've been seeing the news out there that I'm sure you've seen where Enel X has sort of, with the Juicebox, an EVSE we've actually recommended to people because it's good, it's solid, it's everything, but they're abandoning the US and Canada market. And everybody's like, they're just completely out of luck. Like if you own those, you're out of luck. But Linkwell is already being proactive and trying to help out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate scenario, but also unfortunate that this is something that is not really that surprising in the industry, as there's a lot of ups and downs and the way that it's evolving. A lot of different players sort of, I think, jockeying for different positions here. And I think that what this underscores is the importance of when we're building out the infrastructure, what is that compatibility or interoperability mindset? Right. So that we're not in these positions where, you build out a network and then you're sort of stuck with that solution, right? Only hardware from that one solution or only software from that one piece of hardware. And then the other question is, and just like how I opened with our mindset on hardware, software, service, is, what happens with the handoff there, right? So interestingly enough, since, we started, we saw this vulnerability in the industry, and really it's with, across different players. But that need for accountability is still there. It's still front and center. And it's sort of why we've evolved in this way to help address it. And it's why we're very cognizant of the need to maintain this in-house service capability as well. And we are all co-located in the United States here. So we have engineering teams, manufacturing, our sales and advisory teams, and the service teams. Everybody's here. And so we work together, and we are here to support the growing American infrastructure. So, when you made reference to how we are proactively addressing this, one of the things that we did when we decided, what kind of company are we going to be here? What kind of solutions are we going to bring forward? We built out our own charging network, and that is via Link that we have out there.
We're charging on it right now.
Thank you. We built out our own network, but we also did this with a mindset to sort of make it so that anybody could build out their own network as well, right? It's not just about us. This is not just it's not just a Linkwell thing or a Violink thing. What needs to happen is we have to enable those who are interested in participating in the market, whether it's site hosts that want to host chargers, or investors who want to build out infrastructure, or just community members we need more chargers here, right? To support everybody. give everybody the opportunity to build their own networks. So we actually have, white labeling and branding capability for mobile driver app, but also site host platforms and network administrator platform that allows everybody to sort of make their own way in the industry, right? And so what that does is it gives everybody the opportunity to, they can either come to us for, ready-made sort of hardware and software solutions, but they can also have their own network already, and we help them migrate those stations over. So, and that is, level 2 or DCFC. We've got years of experience with this. We've got dozens of network customers that represent as networks besides Violink. And that's something that, in light of what's going on with Enel X and Enel X Way, it's perfectly applicable. So customers who have these stations or, were previously being serviced by Enel X, we're available. We're available to help navigate this. It's not always easy. There's always challenges that are inherent to it. And when you ask the question like, can I use this hardware going forward? It really, it comes down to a number of things, but we've got solutions for level 2 and DCFC, and we've got a portal on the website. I don't know off the top of my head, but
we'll put a link in the description so that people can find that. Because I mean, I think this is huge. I mean, a lot of people, it's frustrating for me as an EV driver to know that, I've been advocating for people to put in EV charging and things like that, and then they go and do it, and then the company abandons them. So from what it sounds like is like there may be already some people contacting Linkwell and going like, can you help us with this transition? You're like, it's old hat. It's like, there may be some differences, but you guys are already used to like transitioning people to a different platform. Yeah,
that's right. This is something we do by standard on a daily basis. Actually, basically this business as usual. So it's basically reach out to us, take a look at the website. There's a form to fill out. You can identify what kind of hardware you have, and where you're located, and we can help you get through this process. There's a lot of different things that we've got. It's like different network options, but also, hardware options. If it does look like you maybe want to take a look at changing out the hardware, there's all kinds of extended warranty policies, and we've got a couple cool things that we're offering for Enel X customers right now, basically discounts on other hardware or extended warranty pieces, just to help, provide that tier 1, tier 2, 3, and 4 support actually as well. So like, what does that mean? That's, if somebody needs help at any point in time, we've got 24/7 support. They can call in for it. Those would be drivers. It's also site hosts too. And then we do remote troubleshooting as well. And if you've got full coverage under warranties, then, it can even include that O&M and on-site labor as well. So it just depends on application. Everybody's situation is different, but again, we'll work with you through that.
It's not going to be like a cookie cutter solution. It's going to be sort of like they'll contact you and the team here will help figure out what the right solution is.
That's right. There's no project or site that is the same. Right? There's a lot of similarities between these things, but everybody's got a different use case. And so that those unique applications are that resonates with us, and the nuance isn't lost on us. We take that into consideration as we navigate these things. But that's right. You can reach out and we can figure it out.
Very cool. And we took a tour last year when you were Livingston Energy. You're transitioning. If you recognize that name, they're now Linkwell. We'll put a link to that video last year, but we also took a tour this morning of your new production facility for your own EVSE. Very impressive to see how that is going. So this video is about Enel X, but it's still connected because that might be a hardware solution for people as well as like your new EVSE and where you guys are going with that.
Yeah, we, one of the things that we sort of found success with over the years as we sort of went on this growth trajectory is great traction with municipalities and government entities. And we realized that there was still a need for Buy America compliant, Made in America hardware. So we decided, again, this is about the accountability thing. We stepped up and we identified this as an opportunity where we just need to work on this to try to bring this, into domestic production. Like let's get a level 2 unit here.
Yeah.
And so we have an engineering team, hardware engineering, software engineering, all like based here, as I was saying.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you liked the tour and you thought the facility was pretty cool.
The tour was great and showed like the flow. And what I really liked is talking about the future potential for expansion.
Yeah.
As more and more people are pushing toward Buy American. But and I love seeing like that's manufacturing side, so that's very key. But we went upstairs, we saw not only software engineering, but like technical support. It's all upstairs. It's here in Schenectady, New York. If you don't know where that's at, it's near Albany, New York. If you don't know where that's at, we'll get you a map. But no, I think it's really cool what you guys are doing and bringing stuff here. We all talk about manufacturing jobs, software engineering jobs, tech support jobs, and not seeing it being outsourced is really cool. And the path that you're providing. We talked to Nick, your VP of software engineering, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And he was saying like providing channels for the local community colleges to funnel people here and give them not just a job, but like a career path here.
Yeah, that's you covered a lot in that.
I know. I'm sold,
That's awesome. I appreciate you bringing up these things. It's all very important to us. Manufacturing, bringing that in-house was an important move for us, and it just kind of plays into our mentality on it. Like you mentioned, having software, in the same building as, for instance, customer support and technical support. Wow, that's invaluable. I cannot overstate the importance of that when you have teams that are sort of in different locations. Yes, of course, remote work, these things are possible, but in an industry like ours, where there's so much that's really demanded of us, of the market players, and to bring like the best customer experience forward, you want to minimize the amount of time, right, that it takes in between these nodes. So when you've got a customer on the line or a site host on the line and they need some critical support, and maybe you haven't navigated this yet with this piece of equipment, right? You've got the development team right there to sort of collaborate.
Yeah, it was really neat seeing, and the software engineers out there were basically pointing out, it's like, our people can call in right here.
Yeah.
And then if we see a problem, we can literally like hear them talking about it and diagnose it on the spot and make improvements if necessary.
That's right. We keep a tight feedback loop. It's all about like minimizing how much bureaucracy, time, steps it's got to go through before like that, that good insight from the market is going right back into development, and how fast we can deploy that, over the air or in the next iteration of a model. But the other piece of what you mentioned was just supporting the community and just developing the workforce. It's been a big deal for us since the beginning, actually, since we were just like a dozen people. There was a time when actually like we were mostly run with a staff of interns. We've always been a big believer in this, but you find a lot of like really engaged and excited individuals, in this population, and you do everything you can to sort of like, we can break the mold on what's expected for developing a technical workforce. And I think that I would just thank the individuals in the company here to help support that mission and goal. And we've had amazing managers and leadership here that have embraced it as well, because it's not always easy to do, right? To just say, hey, we're going to go for, we're going to try to mentor a population, instead of just like, okay, we're going to get the most experienced individuals. Of course, we've attracted great experience as we've grown over the years, but it's been very fulfilling to also develop and promote from within.
That's awesome. And going back to the Enel X, with them abandoning the U.S. market, you guys can't abandon the market because it's your neighbors, it's like the people here. It's like it's all very connected, and all the reasons why Congress and other people will promote Buy American. It's true. It's like it is shown here the importance of why Buy American works.
Yeah, it's a great point, and it's interesting because. Thank you for bringing it up. It's one of the reasons why we did this. When we first came into the market, there were a lot of, I mean, there still are a lot of foreign companies that
Yeah.
have made the investment into the U.S. market. And listen, that's collaboration is an important thing, right?
Hmm.
That is a bottom line. Like we've got to have a good international community, tight international community on like, okay, what is the technology that really makes a difference here?
Hmm.
What have we seen in the European market? What's going on in Asia? How can the U.S. learn from these things? But again, back to your point is, then you can't underscore enough probably how important it is to have domestically based, sources for
Yeah.
support in the industry. We've got to take ownership over our network, and build, um, important sort of connections with the utilities here, the governments here, and a lot of that you can say is ends up being part of critical infrastructure, right? And
Right.
so there
Yeah.
is sort of like, you've got like this national sort of resilience kind of concept that kind of comes to fruition, especially as infrastructure continues to develop and
Yeah.
grow.
There's a big push, and I come from an IT side of things, but there's a big push of like, we normally talk about cybersecurity, and it's like, let's protect our laptops and our servers and things like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah,
And now there's like more about sector security of like, we need cybersecurity in our transportation network, and specifically like EV chargers. Because like,
yeah,
if you think about it, we have all these EV chargers that are going to be connected, and if they're not protected from cybersecurity standpoint, you could literally keep people from moving within your country.
yeah.
I'm going down the rabbit hole, but it's a lot to think about, and I really appreciate the emphasis on bringing stuff here in the U.S. We don't have to worry about it getting abandoned as a market, because it is your market, it is your neighbors.
Here we are, right?
And the other thing is, and you know, uh, just walking around here last year and this year, it truly is like, we've gone to some other charging companies and not many EV drivers, but there's a lot of EV drivers. You guys have the bank of EV
We
chargers
do.
out front. And so, like, number one, it's cool that you have a lot of EV drivers that work here, but it's also cool where they have the chargers that they're working on, new firmware updates that get put out front first, and people are charging into them and
Yep,
are charging with them and testing it out. So
that's right.
I was talking to Nick about this. It's like, there's one thing about like testing stuff in a lab. It's another thing to say like, bring any EV that you have and go charge out front, and does it still work?
Yeah, that's great point. And I mean, it is. I think that one, it's a great sort of benefit that we offer here is just like charging. It's given to employees for free, and it's just something that we believe in. Um, and people, when they come here, they might not start as an EV driver, but they do become over time.
Yeah.
But a lot of EV drivers are attracted to the company, of course. It's important. You want to understand the day in the life.
Yeah.
How can we actually like find the better solutions if you're
Yep.
not living and breathing it? It makes a difference. The other pieces of actually doing the real world testing, it can be frustrating at times
Hmm.
because we are pushing the envelope with some things, and it's like, well, let's try this feature. Okay, not quite there, but we do. It gives us. It's back to that tight feedback loop.
Yeah.
We don't
Well,
have to wait to get this response.
and it's better than like pushing it in the lab or going like, well, this
Oh
should
yeah.
work, and then you deploy it, and then you get
Hmm.
the phones lighting up that it didn't work.
Well, there's so many, I think people like to suggest that, charging is actually like, oh, it's a super simple thing. Of course, like generally speaking, the concept is simple, but in application, we all know how this
Yep.
goes. There's
Yeah.
communication issues, there's authentication issues or accessibility pieces, and usability and ergonomics. There's all kinds of things that come into it. So there's a lot that you want to play out in the real world to really get a good gauge on the effectiveness of a
Yeah.
solution that you want to offer.
Well, we meant this video to be focused on Enel X and the Juicebox, but we've talked a lot about Linkwell. But circling back around, bottom line is, use the link in the description. Reach out to Linkwell if you have a bunch of juice boxes deployed. They can help you navigate that. But there's also, as we talked about, they do a lot of other stuff if you're interested in deploying not only level 2, but level 3, or not level 3, DC fast charging, my
Right.
own pet peeve. Almost broke it. But thank you for spending time with us, explaining what's Linkwell's doing.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Listen, thank you very much. It's been awesome to talk about it.
Awesome, thanks. As we talked about in our meeting, Linkwell makes chargers. We're actually using their chargers, and as I said, they have chargers out here in front of their headquarters. So using it right now, but that was a really great conversation. We dove into a lot of other things besides Enel X and Juicebox, but don't forget, if you are somebody that has Juiceboxes deployed, look in the description and we will have the direct link to get more information from Linkwell, or if you just want to learn about Linkwell. Don't forget, we also have like a tour from last year, as well as the tour of their new EVSE manufacturing facility that they've opened up. Check those videos out. Want to thank you for checking out this video. Hopefully we answered some questions for you. Thank you to our YouTube members as well as YouTube subscribers. The members have little special emojis by their name when they comment, and they have access to other emojis. Thank you to our Patreon members whose names are scrolling across the bottom. They are the ones that help us. She would say if she were on camera, just remember that whatever you drive, and whether you're charging with a Juicebox or one of these new Linkwell chargers, enjoy the ride.